let's see, facilities available and unavailable, and how far away they are. So yeah, you're going to be living on an island, so the facilities are quite limited. The main things that you need are on the island. So you've got the post office, which is fantastic. Best post office I've ever used. They'll know you. You know, you'll be famous. Everyone will know who you are, and you just have to walk into the post office, and they'll go out their way to help you, and they'll give you free cans of tea and stuff like that, and call you sensei and give you the preferential treatment. It's awesome. So they've got the post office, the bank. The bank's got really odd opening hours. It's not open on the weekend, which is a real pain in the ass. So if you want to get money out, you have to go on the mainland. And if you've got no money to get onto the mainland, then you're stuffed. But that really happens. I don't think it's ever happened to me. It's good to keep maybe a couple of $1,000 like in a safe place in your house somewhere, just in case that that might happen. You've always got that lifeline to the mainland. So that bank's paying, and it's not open during the week either. It is open, but it's limited hours. It really is a sort of kind of odd bank. The cash machine is open Monday to Friday from about 10 AM to 6 PM. So you can get money out during the week, which is fine. You've got a supermarket. It's called Seikyo. You'll soon hear everyone talk about Seikyo as it's the only place you can buy food at. Well, not the only, but one of the main places where you do a lot of your shopping. It's quite expensive actually. The vegetables, meats, stuff like that are a premium, much more expensive than on the mainland. But you'll get paid in vouchers from the Eikaiwa, the English conversation class. That's run or sponsored by the Board of Education, and technically they're not allowed to pay you for it, so they'll pay you in vouchers and kind of treat it as a gift as opposed to payment. But you won't get them that often, maybe twice a year, and they give you about 3 man, which is £200. So maybe you'll probably get about £400 in is it that much? Maybe £300 in vouchers for Seikyo per year. So that actually covers a lot of your costs for food. Usually my average spend there is anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000 yen, and it's like a full basket's worth of food. And that probably lasts for about a week, so maybe a little bit less than a week. So actually it's not bad, and it's probably easy to get to on your bike. Well, it's not easy to get to, but if you've got your bike, you can just throw it all in the basket and cycle home with it. It's actually up quite a steep hill, but I wish I was able to meet up with you and I could have shown you how to get to all these places and all the shortcuts and things, but I'm hoping you'll be able to get that information from the other teachers that work on the island. There's a convenience store which is really good. It's open until 10 o'clock. So sometimes if it's 8 o'clock and you're like, man, I'm still hungry, I've got no food, you can cycle along to the convenience store. It's on the opposite end of the island to where you live, but cycling there takes about 10 or 15 minutes. It's not that bad. And most convenience stores have cash machines, but this one doesn't. So again, that kind of adds to the problem of not being able to get cash out. And I'm sure you've heard, but Japan is a cash society. They don't accept sort of Visa or credit cards in many places. And the card you'll get from the bank you'll be signing up with is Yakujushi, which is 114 bank. It's not actually a credit card, it's not got an electronic chip on it, so the only thing you can use it for is taking out money. You can't make any transactions with it. It's a bit of a pain, but actually I've quite liked only buying things with cash, because you know what you're spending. It's easy just to hand over your card and not realise how much money you spent, but if you're taking it out, you see your balance every time. It's not that bad at all. So that's really the main facilities that I think you'll be using the most. So as I say, I think you've got the basics. If you want to go off island, Uno, I do a lot. I used to go to Uno a lot actually, and Uno is the the town just north of Naoshima. It's 20 minutes by ferry, and it's really convenient. It's got a lot of things, big supermarkets, it's got a big department store, it's got a really big sort of electronics store, rental place where you can get DVDs and video games, manga, stuff like that. And I would advise signing up for a card there, because the DVDs are really cheap to rent, and they're all in English, you know. You've got the subtitles, but you just turn them off. And there's a big hardware store there. You can buy a lot of furniture, and it's actually got everything you could possibly need. And it's only 20 minutes away by ferry, so you know, it's probably quite good just for like day-to-day stuff. Takamatsu's probably better for clothes. It's not really got many. It's good for necessities, but it's not really got anything. It's not any good clothes shops. It's kind of rubbish for that. Where are we now? Actually, I should mention there's a place on Naoshima called the Fukushi Center, which is kind of like a welfare center, and it's actually really nice. It's right on top of this hill, just overlooking the port, and the views are really great. And it's got a swimming pool. It's got a small gym. I've never used it because it's kind of can't really call it a gym. It's a room with a couple of weights and stuff in it. So I'm not really interested in that. But the swimming pool's good. I've done that a few times, and that's great. It's got a big theatre. You'll be there a few times with the junior high school. They do performances there, like music recitals and chorus contests. And we used to do an English drama there, but they cancelled and stopped doing that like last year. It was a shame. It was really fun. And they've got a really nice cafe there, like really affordable lunches. You can get like fried chicken and like burgers, and you get like a lunch set where like a bowl of rice and soup, and then actually I really love eating lunch there. It's like 500 yen for a lunch. So yeah, the only thing about that is you can only really go there on Saturday and Sunday. It closes kind of early. But during the the summer holidays and the winter and the spring holidays, there's no kyushoku, there's no school lunch. So you've either got to bring your lunch to school, go back to your apartment, or you can go to Fukushi Center. And I used to go to there all the time and get the lunch set because I loved it. It was great. So yeah, that's a really good facility. I would try and use that as much as possible because the building's just really nice. It's kind of calm and relaxing. Actually, also, I should mention there's I wouldn't call it hospital, it's more of a clinic. I've only used it a few times, but the service is good. There's a doctor there that speaks, it's also English, and he can help you out. So that's really good. And you've got your health insurance card, so that covers most of the costs. Just across the road from that, there's just a little pharmacy where you can get your prescriptions. And there's also a dentist. I had to use that about 2 years into my stay here. I had the worst toothache. I don't wish that on anyone. It was shocking, and it was really expensive. The dentists here are weird. You have to go back like 10 times to do like a tiny little bit procedure at a time, and then you have to go back. That was a nightmare. But there's one here, and the dentist doesn't speak English, but everyone knows who you are, and they just call the school and they'll relay all the information to you if that has to be done. A lot of, especially American ELTs, they make a kind of big deal about finding like their doctor or their dentist, and I don't know, there seems to be a kind of like a personal relationship, but I don't know, I've never really had that problem. I'm happy to go to the place that's easiest and simple and going to give me the quickest treatment. I'm really not fussy about stuff like that, but if you really want to find like a fluent English-speaking doctor, there are people in Takamatsu that you can visit, but I really don't have much information on them. Okay, availability and cost of goods. So I think I covered that in the when I was talking about the food. Activities and groups in the area. So I think you said, were you interested in Kyudo? Was it archery you said? There's a few ALTs who do Kyudo, but again, they're all in Takamatsu. Actually, one of the most prolific Kyudo players is, not player, but I don't know what you'd call it. Her name's Julia. She lives out on the the west coast of Kagawa, and she's been doing it for years, like 3 years or something. And she's pretty fantastic. If you've got any questions about Kyudo, she's the person to ask. And you'll probably meet her at the orientation in Takamatsu. She used to be the head of the AJET, and she's kind of involved with a lot of things. So yeah, I definitely talk to her about it, and she'll be able to get you on the right track. In terms of clubs on Naoshima, you're pretty limited. The only one really is the Kendo club. Kendo being the sort of lightsaber kind of sword martial art. It's for junior high school children. I think they've got an adults club as well. I'm not sure about that. And as I said before, there was an ALT a few years ago who was a member of that. Equipment's quite expensive from what I hear, but if you're really interested in taking up it, then I think it's a good investment to, even if it is expensive, it's one of those opportunities that you shouldn't miss out on. Let's see, that's really all there is for clubs. There's a slag, like kind of, what do you call it, clay, it's a kind of clay club. Like they make stuff from clay. That's kind of big on the island. There's a Onabunraku, but Onabunraku is only for women. It's kind of like a special Japanese puppetry where you've got like four like puppeteers who control one doll. Like one person controls the head and one person controls the arms. And in fact, it was the technique they used to move C-3PO in episode 1. So I'm not sure if you're into Star Wars, but I'm such a geek when that comes to that stuff. And it's really cool actually. Like they wear all black, and it's kind of so you're not meant to see the puppeteer, and they all like independently move different parts of the body, and that's a pretty big club. But yeah, it's it's a small island, so there's not much going on in terms of stuff like that. Proximity to other foreigners. Yeah, you're probably one of the most isolated ALTs in Kagawa. Yeah, there's a couple other ALTs on another island just next to you called Shoroshima, but there's like 3 ALTs there, so they've got each other, and all the Takamatsu people have got they're all living pretty close to each other. And you've got people out on the west and the east, and again, some of them live like in the same apartment buildings together. So yeah, you really are really quite far away from everyone, but that gives you the incentive to make the effort to go and meet them. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's nice to be able to just get away from it all. And sometimes I feel bad for the people in Takamatsu who like they're living like side by side. It's kind of hard to escape if you just want some time away. So actually, you might find that you are that person, that has the place that's far away from everyone, and people can just come to Naoshima, hang out in your apartment, and just have a little mini vacation away from it all. Because it's kind of like that actually. Like I've had a few people come and they've been like, yes, it's like being on holiday, It's because there's lots of little restaurants, places to explore, and it's got a beach, and you can really treat it like that, Okay, what else have we got?